This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Good Friday Eve to you. You made it to Thursday already, and some of you waking up with a little bit of snow, and you said even sleet?
Yeah, some sleet showing up in parts of Floyd County and Clark County, so that's going to try to move into the Louisville metro in a bit. But yeah, an interesting morning for sure. Everywhere you're seeing a little bit more of those oranges and blues, that is where we're not only seeing just rain, but more of that rain, snow, sleet mix, mainly snow for those of you further to the north. So a little bit of everything going on from Bedford to portions of North Vernon. You're mainly seeing that snow. Same thing towards Scottsburg, Madison, Carrollton getting in on more of that snow right now. That mix showing up from parts of Floyd County back towards Perry and Du Bois County in the metro. It has been just mainly rain so far and staying rain for those of you from Brandenburg to Shepherdsville to Taylorsville, all the way south towards Columbia. The further south you are, the more sporadic those showers are so far this morning. But in terms of that wintry mix we're dealing with right now, that will move out as the morning goes along and will be drier getting into this afternoon. Rob.
Tawana, thanks so very much. And at 7:01, good Thursday morning to you. I hope it's off to a great start. Off to a pretty good start on the roadways right now. No major issues to talk about, but we have been keeping our eyes on this area. The Snyder North approaching Old Henry Road cleanup, just finishing up there after a two-car crash. That was more than an hour ago, but you still see kind of the intermittent stop and go off to the right side there. My best camera to show you is the Snyder at Shelbyville Road on that. Otherwise, your drive times not looking too bad right now. We'll keep you posted if we see any other changes throughout the duration of your morning. Make it a great one. Shannon, over to you.
Thank you. 5 people, including a teenager, facing charges in connection to a deadly shooting outside of a Shively club. The Shively Police Department says that these 5 people were arrested after a coordinated attack outside of Club 7 on 7th Street Road earlier this month. Rodney Parker was shot and killed and another victim hurt. Kiashia Tyson, Davian Birdsong, Chance Guthrie, DeMontre Rocks, and a juvenile are charged with complicity to murder and assault. Investigators say when the group shot at the victims, they were leaving the club. Police did not provide an exact motive for the attack. 3 others were also arrested as part of the investigation on unrelated drug and gun possession charges. Some of the men arrested have previous criminal histories. Chance Guthrie was 14 years old when he shot and killed 14-year-old Darren Thiel in the St. Dennis neighborhood in April of 2021. He took a plea deal in the case and was sentenced to 6 years in prison. We reached out to the Kentucky Justice and Public Safety Cabinet to find out why he was let out early. And court records showed Davian Birdsong had been arrested in 2024. Police say he was part of a group of juveniles that had carjacked a man. Investigators say that car was then used in a drive-by shooting. And while one of the juveniles was running away, police say they caused a motorcycle driver to crash and die. And we also discovered DeMontre Rocks as one of the 2 men police caught as they ditched a stolen car on I-65 earlier this week. Here's video from the LMPD drone showing officers stopping the car. He was charged with fleeing police, receiving stolen property, and having a gun as a convicted felon in that case. An audit firm has found no clearly defined or followed guidelines for financial oversight within JCPS. It is one of 13 things the firm says JCPS needs to fix if it wants to avoid another budget crisis. Rob is here with a closer look at the numbers.
Hi, Shannon. Audit firm Plant Moran was hired to help JCPS understand exactly how they got into a $188 million budget deficit. The firm finding some 8 areas that they're calling high priority, 5 other topics of concern in a moderate priority category. Among the high priority concerns, the audit firm discovered JCPS fell into a pattern of what they called cumulative funding requests. They say that that happened because the district did not require new or expanded budget allocations. The report found that there was not clearly defined oversight and problems setting strategic priorities. The audit also revealing that the Board of Education has limited visibility into mid-year financial performance due to discontinued reporting and presentation of key financial types of information.
The reports to the public and us just need to be easy for us to understand as a board so that we can make the right votes and recommendations. Like when you saw it on there where we stopped getting the monthly budget to actual reports. It's really hard to vote on a board and understand what the impact of certain purchases mean if we don't know the total number.
Where you can use insights, but
the audit firm proposed ideas for how the district could possibly fix some of these issues. Meanwhile, Superintendent Dr. Brian Yearwood says they're working to find ways to implement at least some of those recommendations. Shannon, back over to you.
Thank you. We expect to learn more about the district's future budget tomorrow. Superintendent Brian Yearwood is scheduled to deliver his first State of the District address. It will start at 10:30 at the Olmsted. The chair of the Board of Education has called a special meeting for this speech. Today, a former U.S. Air Force pilot in Jeffersonville is expected to appear in court after being accused of providing defense services to Chinese military pilots. According to the Department of Justice, 65-year-old Gerald Eddie Brown Jr. conspired with foreign nationals to train pilots in the Chinese Air Force. The DOJ says Brown started working with a co-conspirator to negotiate with a Chinese citizen and hack computer networks used by U.S. defense contractors. Investigators claim they stole sensitive military data to then turn over to the Chinese government. Brown is scheduled to appear before a magistrate judge in the Southern District of Indiana today. The Louisville Metro Department of Corrections is overhauling the staffing model it's operated under since the facility first opened. In recent years, Louisville Metro has poured money into renovations, security upgrades, and staff training. But the staffing model never evolved with it, leaving officers overwhelmed. The current model can force officers to work mandated overtime that is legally capped at 16 hours per week. LMDC Chief Jerry Collins says the new plan aims to nearly eliminate that, making overtime something officers choose, not something they're ordered to do.
With the way that it's set up currently, it was very staff intensive, and it was a time to look at thinking, how can we be more efficient? How can we help the officers? How can we leverage all the things that we put into the agency?
The plan was developed in coordination with corrections officers, the FOP, as well as staffing models and other corrections facilities across the country. Some details are not being released for security reasons. You can find out more in our full story on wave3.com and the Wave News app. A judge says the trial in the case against River City Firearms after the mass shooting at Old National Bank will start in the summer of 2027. Families of those killed in the 2023 Old National Bank shooting are suing River City Firearms for selling the gun and accessories the shooter used in the attack. 5 people were killed and 8 others hurt, including 2 responding LMPD officers. Court documents say for months the two sides have been going back and forth over discovery that will be used to decide the case. Attorneys for River City Firearms told a judge they've already reviewed more than 60,000 documents, but the plaintiffs want more.
This is a significant case and a significant act of this city that I hope never replicates itself. So this claim of defense needs to be fully adjudicated. And yes, you will disclose everything related to the plaintiff's concerns.
Both sides will be back in the courtroom to talk more about discovery April 15th. The case is set for trial the week of August 9th, 2027. A proposed state budget for Kentucky is moving towards its first vote on the House floor. The proposed 2-year state budget cleared its first committee, largely along party lines. Some spoke out against proposed education cuts. Others worried it could lead to higher health insurance costs for teachers and public employees. Lawmakers took out the language that would have increased premiums by up to $500 a month and increased funding for classrooms.
We're basically doing a 2% increase in FY27 with another 2% in an additional 2% in FY28.
Some of my anxieties have been abated, and I really thank the majority for your work because it means a lot that SEEK is growing. It means a lot that the Kentucky Employees Health Plan is secure for at least now.
The bill can be called for a floor vote the next time the House meets. Many in higher education are sharing concerns after an announcement from the University of Louisville to pause the graduate program for the Department of Pan-African Studies. The university says it's a funding issue in a response to low enrollment. Those involved with the department say it's more than just numbers. Dr. Ricky Jones, a professor in the department, says staff were blindsided by the university's decision and given no warning before an email was sent out a couple of weeks ago. Jones says the department is irreplaceable and it is one of the oldest Pan-African Studies departments in the country. The department offered the first Black Studies PhD in the South. Jones says it's not only about this decision, but a series of decisions the university has made over the last couple of years.
We don't know what's going to happen next, right? You wipe out the Commission on Diversity of Racial Equality. You wipe out the Black Faculty and Staff Association. You wipe out the Multicultural Center. You set up the Porter Scholars, which was set up to increase the enrollment of Black students at the school. It can no longer do that.
Jones added people with concerns can email the university's administration. Still to come, 4 people shot and killed after a shootout near Cuba's coast. What government officials say happened and what the U.S. plans to do. Well, if you like craft beer, live music, food trucks, and more, you probably want to check out the Tailspin Ale Fest going on next weekend. It's the 13th year for it, and Wave News reporter Marissa Burke got a preview.
And it's going to be so many people out trying new things and discovering new restaurants like the churro stand this morning. I have Lila and Mario Alonso, and they are going to be having some fun Sundays out at Tailspin. So tell us, what is Mario making right now?
So Mario, good morning, everybody. We're making tres leches. And this one has a vanilla ice cream, a strawberry topping, and some cinnamon sugar churros with some drizzle of condensed milk. So it's really good. It's the perfect churro sundae for your any type of event, and we're gonna be at the Tailspin
and
next
this is just
weekend.
one of many items that people can try when they come out there to Tailspin. Because who doesn't love a good churro, guys? So
Yes.
what else are you gonna have out there? I see you have some other creations.
So right
You have
now I'm
some-
making caramel classic churro sundae, which is one of the favorite ones. I'm
You
keeping
have the Oreo cookie churro. You have the
Fruity Pebbles. That's the cosmic one, and that's like kids' favorite. But a lot of grown-ups like it too, so you can come and try it. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And guys, they've only been open for 6 months. So when you come out to Tailspin, you get to try out a new business.
Please.
And they've already kind of gotten their feet wet at an event like World Fest. So that means you got to come and try these churros for yourself. And I know everyone at the station is probably like, she better be bringing those churros back.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be eating on this strawberry one because that ice cream is going to melt by the time I get back to the station. So guys, if you want to come out to Tailspin and try the churro stand, next Saturday at Bowman Field, tickets still available. Visit tailspinlfest.com.
There you go, Marisa.
Marisa Bird.
Yes. Cheers.
Bet she enjoyed that. So that's going on at Bowman Field. But let's talk about the weather for this weekend, because Tawana, there's some good looking weather, huh?
Saturday looks fantastic. We have a lot of events going on, so it's the perfect weather for that. But then we also have
I have the Heart Ball.
Oh, yes. So that means you can look fancy while enjoying the nice warmer weather. But right now, what we are dealing with is a little bit more of that snow, sleet, a little bit of that rain across the region to start off the day. And for some of you, it is sticking. Yes, we are watching the rates heavy enough for some of it to try to accumulate into some spots. But what we are dealing with right now, for those of you from Seymour to North Redington to Madison and Salem, is mainly snow. Where you see a little bit more of those yellows showing up anywhere from Henry County into the Borden area and back towards Palmyra is a mixture of sleet, snow, and a bit of that rain. Even getting reports of some of the areas in Borden covered a little bit, have a little bit of a coating of some sleet right now. So that mix still continuing anywhere from Borden to Palmyra, back towards Jasper. You're getting some snow, sleet, and rain to start off the day. And even some of that really sleet and snow showing up with the rain in the metro towards downtown. I peeked outside here at Wave News and saw some of that sleet and snow to start off the day. So a little bit of everything for everyone. Some more of that rain and snow from Frankfort to Carrollton and further to the south of Bardstown. That's where you're getting a little bit of drizzle as of right now. Most of the rain is north of the parkways to start off the day. Most of the precipitation, I should say. And the reason that we have all this going on is because of what was a stationary front, now a cold front making its way out of our region. Now that that front is pushing to the south, we are seeing improvements. Now, as I mentioned, for some of you, especially north of towards the Seymour area, towards Salem, some of this is starting to stick for you, but towards Corden, mainly talking about wet roads there on the camera there with a little bit of that sleet and snow trying to accumulate on the grassy surfaces. Temperatures in the 30s further to the north, 40s further to the south, but everybody climbs into the upper 40s and low 50s for afternoon highs today. So anything that sticks around for this morning will quickly fade as we head into the afternoon. That rain, sleet, and snow will continue through the 8 o'clock hour, drying out through 9, 10 o'clock. And by lunch, most of us dry with a mix of sun and clouds across the region. We're going to keep those mainly clear skies through the evening into tonight, and that should allow our temperatures to drop down. So in terms of that mix, that sleet and snow, any accumulation, we're talking dusting to a coating for those of you north of 64. But remember, as we warm up, all of that is going to fade. Now, by the time we're done with the rainfall for today, we'll add on another about 1/10 of an inch of rain on top of about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch that we've seen so far. So this is really not a heavy rain scenario at all. We'll get into tomorrow morning, waking up to 20s and low 30s, ending up in the 60s for highs for Friday and Saturday. Sunday, a quick system moves through. This brings extra clouds, cooler temperatures, and the potential for a light wintry mix. But once we get towards your Monday and Tuesday, this is when we have a better chance for rain and snow for Monday, adding in mainly rain, it looks like, as of right now, towards Tuesday. Wednesday, quiet, and then for the end of next week, we see warmer weather and more wet weather in our forecast. Shannon.
Thank you. The Cuban government says its military shot and killed 4 people in a Florida-registered speedboat that entered Cuban waters Wednesday. Cuba says the people on the boat were Cuban residents of the United States. The shootout happened just off the island's coast. The Cuban government says the boat was carrying 10 people, one of whom allegedly opened fire on those Cuban forces. 6 other people on the boat were injured and are being treated. The Cuban Interior Ministry says they claimed seized assault rifles, handguns, improvised explosive devices, bulletproof vests, telescopic sights, and camouflage uniforms were found. The U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, says the U.S. is gathering information right now.
We will know shortly, and we will know quickly, many more facts about this incident than we know right now. The majority of the facts being publicly reported are those by the information provided by the Cubans. We will verify that independently, and as we gather more information, then we'll be prepared to respond accordingly.
The incident comes amid heightened tensions between the U.S. and Cuba. The U.S. has blocked virtually all oil shipments from reaching the communist-run island. Despite not having an active medical license, Dr. Casey Means is set to become the next Surgeon General of the United States. During her confirmation hearing Wednesday, she faced sharp questions from a Senate panel about vaccines, pesticides, and birth control. The physician turned wellness influencer has faced ongoing criticism surrounding her credential and policy positions. When questioned about childhood vaccines, she deferred to it being a conversation for doctors and their patients, and she would not directly answer a question regarding flu vaccines.
Do you believe that there's no evidence that the flu vaccine has efficacy in reducing serious injury or hospitalization? This is an easy one, doctor. This is an easy one.
Do you encourage her to have her child vaccinated?
I'm not an individual's doctor, and every individual needs to talk to their doctor before putting a medication in their body.
Means did not complete her residency and her medical license has lapsed, and she says she has no plans to reactivate it. The role of Surgeon General does not carry policy or regulatory authority, but they often help shape the national health conversation and build public momentum for policy change. Norton Healthcare is warning parents about a recent spike in pediatric flu cases. The hospital confirmed more than 2,500 cases of children with the flu in the past week and 5 hospitalizations. Norton says this is the highest spike in Kentucky kids so far this flu season. Health experts say the rise is because of the strain Flu B, which is more common in children. And while the strain is usually more mild to moderate, it can lead to serious issues for younger children and those with underlying medical conditions. Norton pediatrician Dr. Heather Felton talked about some concerns parents might have during flu season.
I think some of the most common ones are that they're concerned that you could get the flu from the flu vaccine. It's not possible for that to happen from the flu shot because it's an inactivated vaccine, so it couldn't cause you to get the flu.
She says sometimes people may experience a little bit of muscle soreness or fatigue after getting a flu shot, but Dr. Felton says that's your immune system turning on and making antibodies. A safety alert right now. 3 types of cottage cheese sold under Walmart's Great Value brand are being recalled in 24 states, including Kentucky. That's because they may not have been pasteurized properly. These products were sold last week between February 17th and 20th. If you have this at your house, don't eat it. Take it back to Walmart and get a refund. According to the FDA, there are no reports of illnesses or hospitalizations connected to the recall. Nulu getting national recognition as one of the best arts districts in the country. We'll tell you what they say makes it so special. Cool. Nulu is ranked among the USA Today's top 10 arts districts in the whole country. The official rankings dropped Wednesday. Nulu came in at number 7. That's a spot above last year's finish. The former manufacturing hub is now a hotbed of art galleries, antique shops, innovative restaurants, and historic storefronts. The list says annual events such as Nulu Bachfest, Nulu Fest, Nulu Jingle Fest, and Nulu Nights further highlight the neighborhood's commitment to arts and culture. Well, get ready. You soon will have your Girl Scout cookies. Delivery season kicks off tomorrow. The Cookie Warehouse in Louisville opens for cookie distribution. Girl Scouts have been taking orders for the last couple of months, and now they'll be handed off to the troops to distribute. The warehouse is expected to move more than 1 million boxes of cookies by the end of the cookie program. Girl Scout troops will host booths starting this Friday through March 29th. Thanks so much for joining us for Wave Extra. Hope you have a great day.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Good morning, I'm Shannon Kogan. 5 people, including a teenager, are facing charges in connection to a deadly shooting outside of a Shively club. The Shively Police Department says Kiasia Tyson, Davian Birdsong, Chance Guthrie, Demontre Rocks, and a juvenile are charged with complicity to murder and assault. Police say they conducted a coordinated attack outside Club 7 on 7th Street Road earlier this month. Rodney Parker was shot and killed and another person hurt. Investigators say the group waited for the victim outside the club. Here is Tawana. Some people waking up to a little snow.
Yeah, we're seeing some snow, some sleet trying to coat areas basically further to the north of the metro, but this already starting to wrap up across our area. So for those of you anywhere from Madison to North Vernon to Seymour, you have been dealing with some of that snow this morning. And really for areas from Scottsburg north, this is where we could see that dusting to a coating of snow and sleet, even seeing that showing up for those of you towards Borden. So we're dealing with that wintry mix, snow, sleet, rain anywhere from LaGrange through the metro and back towards Jasper, and for those of you in Perry County. So keep that in mind. In the metro, we're getting a little bit of everything as of right now. Those of you further to the east also seeing more of that rain and snow from Frankfort up towards Carrollton. Lighter rain and just some drizzle showing up for those of you south of the parkways, all because of this front making its way through our area. And keep in mind, while we're dealing with all this right now, we are going to dry out and warm up as we head into later on this afternoon. Rob?
Tawana, thanks so much. And at 7:28, still keeping our eyes on cleanup and a little bit of slow downs right now. This is 265 at Shelbyville Road after a 2-car crash. That happened more than an hour ago, but still stop and go traffic out there. So certainly watch your speed and, of course, keep the windshield wipers handy. You may need them this morning. The Metro traffic camera is looking pretty good for now.